I'm drier lint. I might smell like a spring breeze. I'll burn your house down. I'm a text walker. I'm paying more attention to my LOLs and OMGs and the CARs that are about to HIT me.
Good morning and welcome to Headquarter Highlights. I'm your host, Melissa Gridley, and with us today is Masonite's CEO and President, Fred Lynch. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, we've talked a lot about safety in the past. Why is the topic of safety so important to you?
Sure. First and foremost, I think that safety is a mindset and that all injuries can be prevented. At Masonite, we want our employees to go home to their loved ones in the same condition that they came to work each and every day. And, we should expect nothing less. Secondly, what we have found is, plants that have employees that really have a disciplined approach to safety usually measure really well in all other aspects of what they do.
So how has Masonite's overall safety performance stacked up against our goals for this year?
Well, our goal for this year was to have less than 1.5 injuries per every 100 employees. Today, we're just under that goal. Right now, we're at 1.43. So we're on track from an overall number, but we still are averaging about 10 employees getting hurt each and every month. And to me, that's just 10 too many. If we can continue that focus on safety, then I'm pretty confident we can get that number well below 10.
Now, with all this talk about the economic upturn and Masonite's financial position, how has the market for new home sales changed over the past decade?
Well, the past decade has probably been one of the toughest periods for housing in modern history. In 2003, about 1 million homes were sold in the U.S., and that steadily climbed from 2003 through 2006. And we hit a peak of about 1.4 million in 2006. That's when the housing recession, which was global in nature, really started. And housing dropped from 1.4 million in 2006 down to about 217,000 by 2011. That's an 80% drop in new housing in 5 years. Fortunately, we're starting to see a recovery over the last several years. Since 2011, we've grown from 217,000 to over 400,000 new home sales, but we still have a long way to go to get back to those numbers that we saw earlier in the decade.
What can we expect from new home sales in 2013 and 2014 with regard to what you just mentioned?
Well, there's a lot of positive trends happening in the housing industry. Mortgage rates are very low. So again, over the last year, we've seen housing prices start to rise again. The housing market's more stable. In addition, rent prices have been increasing pretty dramatically. So there's a number of, indicators or a number of points that are making people start to look at housing again as a positive place to invest their money.
We've recently started to hear more in the Masonite buzz about an S1 filing. Can you tell us what is that and what does it mean for Masonite?
Absolutely. So a Form S1 is used by companies to register their securities with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, before any of those securities or stock can be sold to the public. So filing an S1 is the initial step towards potentially becoming a public company through an initial public offering, or what is known as an IPO. An IPO for Masonite could provide existing large shareholders who participate in the offering an opportunity to sell some of those shares. It'll enable new investors who might be interested in the company in an opportunity to invest in Masonite. And importantly, it provides Masonite with additional funds to use for additional tuck-in acquisitions like we've done in the commercial space most recently.
How is Masonite meeting the challenge of innovating in the marketplace?
We really have 3 kind of focal points for our innovation process. The first is product. We need to make sure that we're innovating and putting out great products into the marketplace on an ongoing basis to service the customer's needs. We then have service innovation. And we want to make sure we're ahead of the game when it comes to that. And so a great example of our service innovation is our Max Configurator. And then the number 3 is process innovation. A great example of that is the state-of-the-art automated interior door plant in Denmark, South Carolina. And so we're really excited about that great new process innovation.
How will the new technology in the Denmark plant position Masonite for the future?
Today, most of the plants we manufacture the doors manually. In this process, the operators really are running computers in order to allow the robotics and the machinery to do the work. The great part about the Denmark plant is because it's automated, the repeatability of the process will ensure that the product coming from that plant will be of the highest quality with the lowest cost of quality, so the lowest defect levels. And as a result of that, we'll also be able to, because of the robotic replenishment and the speed of the line, be able to meet our customers' needs with much lower lead times. So we're pretty excited about that. It also provides greater efficiency, greater productivity, and therefore ultimately lower cost. We are way ahead of the competition when it comes to this type of technology. And our intention is to continue to invest in automation so that we're always in the forefront of process technology.
Are there any final thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
I'd like to thank all the employees at Masonite for the tremendous efforts in 2013. I want to thank you for choosing to work at Masonite. It's a great company, and I hope you think so too. If we continue to focus on the strategic goals in the Masonite blueprint and demonstrate the values each and every day, we will be the best supplier of building products in the eyes of our customers, our employees, our suppliers, and our communities. And only one company gets to say that. So be safe, work smart, and let's win.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us today, Fred. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Headquarter Highlights. We'll see you again next quarter.